Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RMTV Women's podcast. This is episode 146. You are joined by me and Amy again this week, again via Zoom. There will be a time when we get back into the office on a weekly basis, but at the minute it's just a bit crazy with life and whatnot, and yeah, but we'll be in a better setup soon. But Zoom's done as well so far.
Sure.
Yeah,
it has. It let us down a bit last week.
It did.
But, oh well.
Apologies again for that. That was just a terrible thing. But fingers crossed, no Wi-Fi issues this week, we hope. Yeah, let's just dive straight in then. Oh God, someone's trying to FaceTime me. Oh no.
It's not me.
There's always an issue. Right, so we'll dive straight in. We'll go into, obviously, the Liverpool game. Oh God. God's sake.
Gone well.
Yeah.
This is making it. We can't even cut this out now.
I love the way we've just gone. Yeah, there'll be no issues this week as soon as I finish that sentence. Stop. So, nice one, Lee.
We go again.
Anyway, yeah, obviously Liverpool Women face Bristol City Women on Sunday afternoon at Prenton Park. Third game of the season, second one at home. Wasn't an ideal scenario. Obviously, it was a 0-0 draw. It was kind of a frustrating game. I think we both sort of said that at the end, once the final whistle went, it was kind of just like one of them ones where you just think, we could have done better, but it also could have been worse. Obviously, Bristol's a tough team. They're in the same position as we were last season, obviously getting relegated from the WSL in the Championship for the first time and whatnot. So, but I think overall, I'd describe it as not the best of games for either side. I think it was a little bit scrappy at times as well. There was times where it was quite end to end, but no real chances for either team. But there was plenty of possession for both teams. It was kind of one of those weird games. I don't know if you felt the same about it.
Yeah, it was a strange one. I think, I think more than anything, it's just been quite a frustrating start, not just for that game, but for the entirety of this season. It's been a frustrating start to the season. I feel like you hit it on the head there. Like, it was so end to end in terms of both teams had really quite similar possession, but no, none of them were able to convert. And I was like, I can't really remember that many clear-cut chances at goal for either team, really. I think Leanne Kiernan had a few when she was like running in behind, and the goalkeeper has to come out and stop that. But there wasn't many shots from range. The corners were, to be fair, the Liverpool corners were pretty attacking, and we looked quite dangerous on like set pieces and stuff, but you're only as dangerous as the set piece. Do you know what I mean? If it's not a goal, it's not a goal. So that was a tough one to take. But we didn't lose, which is a big bonus. But like, coming off the back of the Watford game, where we completely dominated the first half and scored 3 goals, conceded twice, you kind of wanted a bit of a reaction and a little bit of like aggression going into this game. And although I don't necessarily think anyone had a particularly bad game, it just didn't feel like the team clicked, and we've got such an issue in this final third of getting the ball to our attackers, and then we sort of get it to them and leave them really isolated. So it really needs sort of to be sorted out, doesn't it? Because we can't afford to be having these draws, because ultimately we drew too many times last season and lost silly games. So we really need to push on now.
Yeah, just touching on in terms of like the goal stuff and the forward line and whatnot. Matt Beard alluded to it in his post-match interview, in like, things will really start to click like end of this month, October time. Obviously, we're going into an international break now. There's no game next season, so next weekend. So, he has highlighted that it's going to be a sort of slow progress thing for the first couple of games. And obviously, you mentioned that pre-season was a bit disrupted with him going down with COVID, a couple of players getting COVID, obviously, a few weeks before the season. There was a period of time where there wasn't much going on. So I don't think that's like an excuse thing either. I think it does take time. I think as the season goes on, you'll probably see it after the international break and those next couple of games that things will start to click into place a little bit more. I also want to touch on like the back 4-5, if you will, if you include the keepers. He's had the same back four for the first 3 games, I'm pretty sure. He's had Wardlaw, then Matthews, Robe, and Hines, and obviously they got the clean sheet on Sunday, the first clean sheet of the season, which was important. But then I think it's also just important to keep that back four as consistent as possible, because if that's consistent, then they all start to click and mold together. Like that back four's never played together. Don't forget it's a brand new back four, back five for this season. So I think that's really key that we've managed to have the first 3 games with those same players consistently playing for majority of the 3 matches, give or take the subs and whatnot. So I think that's like a key thing that I've picked up on for the first 3 games, is that that is a bit of consistency that we've had.
No, it is, and it's important. I think a couple of seasons ago, when I think Vicky was still in charge, there was a period where we were changing who was playing near enough next to every game, and it's tough then to get into like momentum of how to then build a squad and build a team's sort of identity. It's really tough when you're chopping and changing all the time, and I think it was really important to get the clean sheet on the weekend, because that seems to be the thing that's staying most consistent. So it's nice to see that they're all gelling together well. I think Matthews has been great since she's come back to Liverpool, and she's slotted in really well and been really strong in that centre-back role. And like, to keep Michaela Moore out of the team, you've got to be doing something right. My view is, how does Michaela Moore get back into this team? I do rate her very highly as a defender, but I mean, I don't see her being swapped out for Matthews. I think Matthews has had such a strong start to the season. I think at times Robe's been a little bit shaky, but equally I don't think that's enough to bump her off the team. So as you said, it's probably it's probably in the back of Matt Beard's mind, like, I need to keep my foundation of the team, like my backbone of the team, consistent, because then the players in front know that the defence is counted for and know where they're going to be and whatnot to knock balls through. So it's nice that we've got that consistency. It's just the goals that's our main issue at the minute. We're not scoring enough goals, and like, we've brought in so many attackers, and we had this conversation before the season even started. Like, these aren't necessarily, mine is potentially Rihanna Dean, but the players that we brought in, the numbers didn't show their capability. And something that we alluded to was that, are we going to see those numbers? Like, is that going to be enough to get us where we need to be? Could you argue now that it hasn't yet? Well, it's only 3 games in, it's hard to say, but I think goals are massive. Like, you need to score goals to win a game, and ultimately that's not what's potentially happened at the minute. Especially, I think Watford was different in terms of, like, no disrespect for Watford, but calibre of team and experience in the Championship. But we're just lacking goals, and they need to come soon if we want to keep within this promotion race, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with all of that. I think if he's sort of got the back four solid, it's kind of now like, right, you move on to midfield. What's the best 3? What's the best 4 in midfield? And then you move on to up front. Obviously, Rihanna Dean showing against Watford what she can do. I think here in Mel Lawley, have got look like they can have a really good like partnership on the field. They had a couple of moments just on Sunday that looked really good. Leanne Kane had a couple of chances where she was literally through on goal. It's just that the keeper was quick off her line, and the pass was just a little bit too much juice on it for her to catch up to it. So it's like, it is just the smallest of margins that's kind of stopping you from sort of breaking the deadlock. And like you said, that game on Sunday was was the most frustrating one, I think, so far this season. I'd even say more frustrating than the one that defeated London City.
You know what? Like, I think it was a missed opportunity in a way because, Bristol, newly promoted, have been vocal very much in the same way we were when we just got promoted. And I think it was a real chance to make a statement. I mean, you look at the scores across the championship from that weekend as well. It was a perfect opportunity for us to really put the first foot forward and set the benchmark for all the other teams that are looking to get promoted this season. So in that way, it does sort of feel like a missed opportunity. But it's like, I don't know when it gets to that point. Like, has Matt Beard set that goal of, okay, we're going to be winning and scoring goals week in, week out by October? Like, is that what we all now have to suddenly wait for? Or if it doesn't happen, then what are we going to do? Like, it seems to be October, end of September, October is the date that we're all somewhat not consciously working towards. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, it does take time. And I think because the way I feel is because we didn't get promoted last season, I'm now in the boat of I want instant results. That's the only way that's going to make me feel better about our chances for promotion this season, because we didn't get it last season. I think ultimately now my mindset is, well, why are we not winning now? We need to win every single game, because we can't end up in the situation where last season where other teams started pulling away, etc., etc. So I think maybe that's why my judgment's sort of clouded a little bit, because I'm still in the back of my head about last season, like it didn't happen because of like whatnot, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough one. It'll just sort itself out over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and I think if looking ahead to like our next 3 games, obviously there's no game this weekend, but then we have Crystal Palace at home, then we play Coventry United away, and then we play Sheffield United away. So you're kind of hoping by that Sheffield United game really that you've kind of got it sort of sorted in
You
terms
hope.
of, in terms of number of goals that we're scoring and stuff like that, because we've only got the 3 so far this season, which isn't a bad return. But when you look at the results, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 draw, there's no bit of consistency for you to sort of pinpoint and be like, oh yeah, that's what's gone well, if that makes sense.
I think with the caliber of players we have in the team as well, we should be getting more out of these fixtures. Like when you compare our squads to the likes of even Bristol, the likes of Sheffield United, the likes of Durham, like we have WSL standard players that have played in the WSL for years, have been in and around the WSL, even for Liverpool, that our squad really, really should be you can't ever walk the championship, but we should be in such a better position than what we are in now, in my opinion, because of the strength and depth that we have in the squad and the players that we have. Like, they're not, some of them aren't championship standard, they're WSL standard players. So we need to sort of, I don't know exactly what it is that needs to change, but if we don't see change by mid to late September, I think there's obviously going to be questions to ask, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think I don't think that's us being like harsh either. I think that's just us having a high expectation and high standards of this Liverpool team. And I think we build ourselves up as a team, and it's like, well, you've got to go and show it as well. You've got to go and do it on the pitch. And like, obviously we go on about the league getting better and bigger every season, and it will. There's new teams in this league this season that we haven't faced for a while, and there's going to be new challenges that are going to crop up and are going to be difficult. But you've kind of got to remember that you are Liverpool and you are these players, and you've got to go up there and show it. And we've had 2 home games this season, and we haven't so far this season we haven't won or scored at home. And then you go away to Watford and have probably the best game out of the 3 of them, score 3 great goals. So it's kind of like, is there a bit of added pressure at Prenton Park? Like, you don't know, and that was highlighted to Matt Beards at the weekend after the game, and it was. I can't remember exactly what his answer was, but it is a question in your head to think, because there was a couple of times last season when we played at home that we looked a bit like, almost like you're trying to get the. It was what it felt like to me on Sunday was that the crowd were trying to just like suck the ball into the back of the net because they were so desperate to get a goal. And I was the same. I was just like, come on, just score, just get one. I don't care what body part it goes in off, except for your arm. As long as it doesn't go in off your arm, any other body part, just get it in the goal.
Yeah.
Because that's how desperate everyone was for that goal. And there was, you could tell by the crowd we were sitting at the end, like, everyone's just like really like, irate and shouting and just like really trying to like build this team up for the last like 10-15 minutes of the game. And it was just kind of like, but you always had that inkling that it wasn't going to fall for us. And like, of Bristol's reaction after the game, they were buzzing. All their team on the pitch was hugging each other. Like, it was weird that like teams come to us, and if they walk away with a draw or sometimes they walk away with a win, they're so happy because they've beat Liverpool. They've beat a team who have really fell down in recent years, and it's like, wow, that's like the position we're in at the minute, and that's what you've got to overcome. And it's just like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I still don't know how to feel about the season so far. Like, I feel like it hasn't really started yet, and that's what like that's what's kind of
it's probably too early.
Yeah.
Too early to tell.
Yeah, that's kind of just like the thing I'm saying. Like, it's only been 3 games. Like, we need to just chill. It'll all fall into place eventually. Like, everything will just start to click. But we'll be sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. I hope, because it genuinely like affects my mood sometimes, and I know there's bigger things going on in this world than losing a football game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get very little happiness from elsewhere, and so when we lose, not in a bad way. Everything okay? Oh yes. Do you know what I mean? Though, like, my weekends revolve around going to football, and it's like when you come away from it and you've been looking forward to it all weekend, and you come away from it like, oh, not again. Like, it does put you in a bit of a grump, but I'm not in a grump. I think I need to like have a bit of a word vomit on the pod just to like get out a bit of frustration about it. I'm all right now. I have happiness again. But the other thing we didn't really mention is the 2 red cards. I mean,
it's literally written down here, and I was like, it was both red cards were
all a bit strange.
Neves was obviously 2 late challenges, and you knew the second one the ref was going to send it off. I think she got the ball first, but I think on the follow through she catches her. So that's and I think with the conditions of the pitch at the weekend as well, it was rainy, it was very wet, so that's what that adds to it. And then the Bristol one was actually one of the quickest red cards I've ever seen in my life. Like,
weird.
Just immediately one yellow after another was mad, and I think the ref explained that he gave the yellow card more for like, I don't know, it wasn't for the handball, it was for something else. It was weird, but yeah, 2 red cards. Obviously, we don't need for the next game as well, which isn't ideal, because I do like to have her in front of the defence. I think that works well. But maybe that's a position that Michaela Moore takes up in against Crystal Palace. Maybe she plays that CDM role rather than trying to slot her into centre back, even though I think that's probably a better position as centre back. But she can play that centre defensive midfield role for us. Yeah. Maybe that's a good way to get her back into the team. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be good. All be good. It's going to be an exciting season. I think it's going to go right to the wire.
100%.
Working for promotion, which is half exciting, half like I want to know now, basically, what's going to happen. But we'll be fine. It'll be all good.
We will see.
Yeah. Apologies. It was very heavy Liverpool base, but we didn't get our opportunity to have a big discussion about it post-match on Sunday, so we thought, why not do it tonight? So we've got everything off our chests that we wanted to. So we hope you enjoyed. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like we said, no game this weekend, so there'll be no post-match, but we'll try and get something out over the weekend if we can. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all next time with a new video. Bye.
Bye.